Welcome to the Technology, Media and Telecom Podcast from JD Power. My name is Andrew Heath. Today we're going to be focusing on wireless service providers. Our podcast theme is Are Wireless Customers Delighted? I'm excited to be joined by my colleagues, Jenni Corwin. Hey Jenni.
Hello.
And also Carl Lepper. Hey Carl.
How are you, Andrew?
Doing great. So looking forward to our chat. We've got a few things going on. As a reminder for anyone new to this podcast, our focus is sharing with everyone insights that we at JD Power hear from consumers regarding their technology, media and telecom providers. Today we're focusing on telecom, specifically wireless service. And we're doing this with a view to sharing that information and to provide insights for the industry to get a good understanding of ways that our industry can help improve the way that we service our customers. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, are wireless customers delighted? Let me kick off, Jenni. I know we've made at JD Power some changes to the way that we survey customers with regard to their wireless service. Perhaps you can give us an overview of what's been going on and how we've been doing that.
Sure. It's been really exciting for the data nerds like me because it's bigger than we've done in the past. So we're covering a little bit more. We used to have a couple different studies. We had a customer care study and a retail experience study. And now we've kind of combined those two things, and we're getting a holistic view of customer satisfaction with their wireless carrier overall. So things that we weren't really getting before around billing and digital tools and value, ease of doing business. So really more holistic, full relationship with your wireless carrier. And it's been really interesting to me and to Carl too, I'm sure. But what we're finding now is we've got these dimensions of customer satisfaction with their wireless carrier. And what's most interesting this year, this volume, is value for price paid is the biggest driver of satisfaction. Not surprising, but it's still interesting to see it come out that way. And the next piece would be consistently delivering high quality service. So that would be the actual network itself. I think if you would have asked us before we fielded the study, were those going to be the most important things? We probably would have said absolutely, right? Like, we know that customers care about how much they're paying for the service that they're getting. It's pretty consistent across most studies we survey here, or most industries we survey. But our findings did validate our hypotheses there, and so it is interesting to see that customers are really still focused on value and quality.
Makes sense, right? I mean, we've got a time when expectations regarding wireless services continue to increase. Yeah, people expect everything to work all the time, everywhere. But affordability remains a problem for many people across the nation. So getting that balance right is never easy. Carl, any additional thoughts on that whole aspect of how we see people responding to that balance between how much they have to pay and the value they then get?
Yeah, there's a few ways that I would say the wireless industry is really driving the value statement for customers. First off, they're offering different price point brands really to accommodate whatever anyone is in situation wise. So they have what I would call value brands, or brands that really require you prepay for your service, which are going to be the least expensive to get, all the way to the national networks, what I would call the MNOs of the world, the T-Mobiles, the AT&Ts, the Verizons, where they would have more of a postpaid, where you whatever service or however whatever you use that month, you're paying for at the end of the month. And the range is about $30 all the way up to $150 a month. So a very drastic range. And to Jenni's point, if you're paying the top dollar, if you're at that $150 mark for one of the big MNOs, you also have a high expectation of what it delivers. You want priority service, you want network that is as good as possible everywhere you go within the United States especially. And you really are hypercritical of these types of brands because you are paying top dollar. And we're also seeing on the other end of the spectrum, the expectations are lower. If you're paying, let's say, $50 a month and you're prepaying for your service, well, your expectations of the network and what it provides, or maybe even the telephone you're using, they change a little bit and the value statement changes. And we see that value statement as a key indicator in our studies. As Jenni said, the most important part of the model this year and in this new study is that value proposition.
That makes a lot of sense, Carl. And as a consumer myself, I think we've said it many times, for providers to underline the value they're providing. My provider earlier this week let me know that when I'm using voice and text for international calls out of the country, that's now included in my plan, right? I mean, I'm not paying anything more for it. But if they've got the capability and flexibility to do that, then it's critical that they reach out, even if I'm maybe not thinking of traveling, just to understand that there's some additional value that wasn't there before that I've now got access to. I'm curious, in addition to this feedback, Carl, we have insights from our network quality research where we're asking people about, do they have problems? If so, how many? Do we have further insights from that relate to this broader discussion around are wireless customers delighted?
Yes, and I'm really excited about this. As Jenni talked about the expansion of this study, we're now capturing and able to look at people's opinion of their network. Is it consistent? Is it reliable? Is it fast? And look at it from that holistic perspective of how do you feel about your network? But then we're able to bounce it off of another study we do, our network quality study, which is really around how many problems did you experience in the last couple days with your network? And the two really do join together well, and they don't tell the exact same story. Right now, I'd say in the satisfaction side of things, both T-Mobile and Verizon are scoring pretty equally across the board. It's really impressive that those two particular brands are well thought of and people do have a real satisfying experience with their network quality. If you look at how many problems did I have, then we do see that Verizon has done a great job across most of the nation and keeping the number of problems people say they experience in 48 hours lower than most of the other brands. But that is equalizing a little bit as well. So it's kind of fun to see and compare the two ways of looking at that high quality service that drives a lot of decisions.
And we are seeing in general, Carl, right, just that quality across the industry is just getting better, right? But it's just becoming more and more reliable. If you think 5 years ago, certainly 10 years ago, we as consumers were never getting that level of reliability.
Very true. The number of towers out there, the technology improvements, the ability for these towers to do more than one thing is just wonderful. From fixed wireless access, getting your internet through your telephone provider, things like that are starting to really move forward the needle, and it's kind of fun to watch where they can go to next.
Great. Jenni, thoughts regarding all of those things happening, and what's that meaning? This is a competitive market, right? It's a ruthlessly competitive market. Lots of customers churning, lots of customers moving, looking at offers. What are the thoughts and insights that we see with regard to how consumers are making that choice?
Yeah, I don't think it's very surprising, but kind of dovetailing off of what Carl has mentioned, when you look at what customers are choosing or why customers are choosing most of the MNO carriers, right? It is for their network, it's for their reputation, and it's for their service and device plan options, right? So they're really choosing that they want this premium service, they want the best network, they want the best service and device plans. And then when you look at customers who are choosing MVNOs, it's mostly based on the price, right? So they're choosing based on price. They're setting their expectations based on that price point as well, though. So we do see that MVNO prepaid and postpaid customers are pretty satisfied comparatively, right? So they don't have those high expectations around the network, or at least as high of expectations, or that the network that they have, the service that they're getting for the price that they're paying, is really meeting those expectations right now. So it is interesting to see, though, that despite all the changes that we've made with the study, we're still seeing most MNO customers are choosing their based on the network, and most MVNOs are choosing based on the price. But what also is interesting is when you juxtapose that about why they leave. When customers are ready to leave and go to another brand across all the segments, both MVNO and MNO pre and postpaid, we see it's price, right? So they found a better offer. They found something that meets their needs, but is it a better value? And so that's why they're more likely to leave.
Constant challenge for our industry, right? As you look at the way consumers assess what they're getting, I think it's that endless balance between quality and value, which we've seen throughout the study. It's just always going to be at the forefront. And I think it's fascinating that the gap from maybe the lowest provider in terms of price to the top is so significant that there is the ability to differentiate, but you've got to constantly be demonstrating that additional value. That's great to see. So Carl and Jenni, as we get ready to wrap here, so our title for this podcast is Are Wireless Customers Delighted? So Carl, are they delighted right now?
I would say that their choices are let them land in a spot that lets them be delighted, whether it's network quality is the highest focus or the price is the highest focus. They have those options. We do see that if the pricing options or the plan options are difficult to understand or confusing, so if you're confusing in how you present this, that definitely does not help the situation. They do not feel delighted if it's confusing. So keeping it simple, keeping it easy, and keeping products in front of them that really do help them get to what they need, we are seeing more and more delighted customers.
Got it. Jenni, what are your thoughts? Are wireless customers delighted?
I would think more so than in the past, right? I think as those options continue to expand and customers are able to choose things that meet their needs, more than in the past, they are delighted. Compared to other industries, I would say no, they're probably not delighted. They're satisfied, right? Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. Because they're always going to want more. They always want faster, better networks, more coverage, lower price. So are we 100% delighted? Not yet, but it's trending in the right direction.
It's a positive story, right? But as you said, still plenty of room for improvement. Excellent. Well, thank you both, Jenni and Carl, for your insights today on today's podcast. I'd also like to thank our listeners for joining us. If you are interested and would like further information, then please do contact us on our team at jdpower.com/business. Head to our technology, media and telecom section. And then just a little pitch as we wrap up for our next podcast. We are next going to be diving deep into the insights that we get with regard to TV and streaming satisfaction. So please join us next, and we will look forward to sharing with you some of those insights. In the meantime, thanks for everyone for joining us today, and look forward to reconnecting with you soon in a few more weeks. Bye now.